Police arrest 6 people over cross-border illegal ride-hailing services, including mainlanders recruited online to make quick money. The government has already paid over $760,000 to the supplier of bottled drinking water and its linked firms, and will seek recovery according to contract terms. And Thailand former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra is cleared of royal insult charge. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Authorities have cracked down on illegal ride-hailing services over the past 3 days, arresting 6 individuals, including 3 mainlanders. Police said local criminals lured mainland drivers online to come to the city and make quick money.
According to police from Regional Crime Unit, a 37-year-old mainland woman and her 56-year-old husband from Hong Kong were arrested for conspiracy to use forged documents. They allegedly purchased fake IDs and driving licenses online to create accounts on ride-hailing platforms. The woman had earlier been jailed for 2 months for providing illegal ride-hailing services in the city. In a separate operation, police stopped a vehicle for crossing double white lines and discovered the mainland driver with two-way permit picking up passengers through a ride-hailing app. He was immediately arrested. Following investigations, a 27-year-old local man was also arrested on suspicion of recruiting mainland drivers to work illegally in the SAR and splitting profits with them. He has been charged with aiding and abetting violations of stay conditions. Additionally, authorities arrested 2 male drivers in Yuen Long for illegally carrying passengers for reward. One mainland man found not to be registered with any ride-hailing platform faces charges of conspiracy to defraud and violating stay conditions.
The government has initiated 205 prosecutions over subpar steel reinforcement work at a housing project on Anderson Road in Kwun Tong last year.
In a statement, the Buildings Department said its investigation found that all 6 blocks at the construction site were found to have steel bars that failed to meet standards. The department discovered different problems, including the steel bars not being placed or counted the way they were supposed to, according to the approved plans. Authorities launched 204 prosecutions against 2 companies and 6 people, including former and current contractors, as well as 4 technical staffers, over deviations from approved building plans. Another prosecution was against one of the technical workers for contravening approved plans. The authorities stated that although there is no obvious danger to the overall structure of the 6 buildings, they are following up with the incident report and necessary remedial measures, such as recasting of concrete.
Let's follow up on the water procurement saga. The government has confirmed paying over $760,000 to the terminated supplier Xingding Trade and its related parties, and will seek recovery according to contract terms. Tender documents reveal the drinking water contract was awarded based on price, unlike previous scored tenders.
All 6 government contracts with Xingding Trade and its related companies, totaling over $66 million, are now terminated. The Government Logistics Department disclosed payments of $361,000 for bleaching powder and $400,000 for bleaching water. A $2,268 drinking water payment can be offset by the supplier's $1 million deposit, but 3 other contracts lacked deposits, limiting recovery. The government emphasized all contracts are payment upon delivery, and no further sums will be paid. Xingding Trade was a first-time drinking water contract winner. According to official tender documents, the previous tender in 2023 specified 2 criteria, technical and price, each weighed at 50%. But the latest tender document made no mention of a scoring system and instead awarded the contract based on bid price alone. Speaking on the phone, lawmaker Edmund Wong said the government failed to review Xingding Trade's financial status or the criminal records of its management for past violations.
呢一方面可能都係要納入為呢個評分嘅標準啦，第陣時。
He believes the government should use a scoring system in future tenders, incorporating these factors into the assessment, as past misconduct by a company could pose risks to the consistency and stability of supplies. He suggested that in the short term, the government could increase random checks and require winning bidders for larger-scale contracts to undergo financial audits by certified accountants.
As the closing statements of the national security trial of former media tycoon Jimmy Lai entered the fifth day, the defense argued that general criticism towards the government is not insightful, but judges warn that the freedom of expression is not absolute. Jamie Liu reports.
Lai was brought to the court building in a prison van as proceedings entered the final phase. Lai's wife, Teresa, and one of his daughters attended the hearing. The defense argued that the public has the right to access news, even if it includes views from radical protesters. Judge Esther To indicated that a broader context must be considered, including editorial direction and content. The defense stressed that the national security law should not override human rights, citing a precedent case to argue that only speech causing serious harm to government authority or public order should be considered seditious. General criticisms, they said, should be allowed. The defense counsel further said, while Lai set an editorial tone critical of the government, articles published by Apple Daily does not automatically amount to incitement. Judge Alex Lee questioned whether Lai's awareness and approval of potentially illegal articles could be used as an indicator by the court. The defense referenced testimony from Apple Daily lead editorial writer Yuan Ching-ki, who admitted to pushing boundaries but denied any intent to break the law. Even if a few articles crossed the line, they argued that would not amount to conspiracy. Lai's live stream comments were also discussed. The defense explained when Lai said he would not back down even if accused of collusion, he was expressing resilience, not involving an actual move to collude. Judge To concluded by noting that freedom of speech is not absolute, referencing arrests over Palestine-related comments in the US and UK. She added that Lai's live chat could reach the whole world, not just two old men talking politics over dim sum. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
A court in Thailand has dismissed a high-profile case against former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, accused of royal defamation.
Thaksin left the Bangkok criminal court after his acquittal. He was wearing a yellow tie, the color associated with Thailand's monarchy. The court concluded that insufficient evidence led to the dismissal. Thaksin was accused of insulting the monarchy during an interview with South Korean newspaper Chosun Ilbo in 2015 while in exile. The charge is punishable by between 3 and 15 years in prison. He denied wrongdoing and repeatedly pledged his loyalty to the king. He returned to Thailand 2 years ago and was sentenced to 8 years in prison for corruption and abuse of power. However, he later received pardon with a reduced sentence and released on parole in February last year.
2 U.S. universities were placed under lockdown following separate reports of active shooters, both later confirmed as hoaxes.
At Villanova University in Pennsylvania, a shooting was reported during New Student Orientation Day, prompting students and staff to flee. The university's alert system sent text messages urging people to seek immediate shelter. Some students and family members retreated to rooftop areas, while others barricaded classroom doors with stacked chairs.
Report of an active shooter on campus. I cannot confirm whether that is the case. Supposedly in the library, at the law school, other side of campus on the other side of the tracks. Building is locked down, okay? No one is coming in unless we let them in, okay? So you are safe. I know this is unnerving. Just hang tight. We will let you know as soon as we know more information.
Armed police responded in large numbers, entering campus buildings with shields and weapons drawn. Officers also secured rooftops while sweeping for suspects. County authorities confirmed receiving multiple emergency calls alleging gunshots and injuries. After over an hour of searches involving local and federal agents, the threat was declared false. The university's president condemned the hoax And Governor Josh Shapiro ordered a full investigation to identify those responsible. Just 4 hours earlier, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga also received a false active shooter report. Students sheltered in place, barricading doors with furniture until police cleared the campus. An investigation into the swatting incident is underway.
Russian President Vladimir Putin reportedly has put forward several conditions for ending Ukraine war, including Kyiv to cede Donbas region and give up its NATO ambitions. Anna Chen tells us more.
The Russian and U.S. leaders held talks in Alaska last Friday and spent almost all of the 3-hour closed meeting discussing what a compromise on Ukraine might look like, according to a Reuters report citing sources. Putin was said to have listed 3 criteria to end the war, demanding that Ukraine give up all of the eastern Donbas region, renounce ambitions to join NATO, remain neutral, and keep Western troops out of the country. The Russian sources said Putin has compromised on territorial demands he laid out last year, agreeing to halt the current front lines in Zaporizhia and Kherson in the south, as well as handing over some other small territories. The sources also cautioned that it was unclear to Moscow whether Ukraine would be prepared to cede the remains of the Donbas, and that if did not, then the war would continue. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reiterated that Kyiv could not simply withdraw from the east. It is a matter of our country's survival involving the strongest defensive lines, he stated. As for joining NATO or not, Zelensky said it was not up to Moscow to decide on the alliance membership. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov earlier said Putin was prepared to meet Zelensky, with reports of possible venues for talks in Hungary, Switzerland, Austria, or Turkey. If the two sides could reach an agreement, then there are various options for a formal deal, including a possible 3-way Russia-Ukraine-US deal that is recognized by the United Nations Security Council, one of the sources said. Anna Chen, Cable News.
Amid U.S.-China tensions on advanced computer chips, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang again denied allegations about backdoor security risks in its company's made-for-China chip. Jamie Liu has more.
The American chip giant is facing growing distrust from Beijing after state media recently labeled its H20 chip, made specifically for China, as unsafe. Speaking to reporters in Taiwan during a surprise day trip to the island, Huang again brushed off those concerns.
We have made very clear and put to rest that H20 has no security backdoors. There are no such things. There never has.
The CEO expressed hope that their response to the Chinese government is sufficient. Nvidia had prepared a lot of H20 awaiting purchase orders from Chinese customers, he added. The electrical engineer noted that Nvidia is in talks with the U.S. administration over offering China a successor to its H20 chip. This came as reports that Nvidia was developing a new AI chip for China. The product, called B30A, was said to be more powerful than the H20 model that was approved by the U.S. government for sale to China. A report by trade publication The Information said Nvidia has asked some of its component suppliers to stop production related to H20. Asked about his third trip to Taiwan this year, Huang said the purpose was to visit his company's chip foundry partner, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. He thanked TSMC for their work on Nvidia's next-generation AI chip platform called Rubin. He hailed the Taiwan semiconductor firm as one of the greatest companies in the history of humanity, and that anybody who wants to buy TSMC stock is a very smart person. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
McDonald's in Japan was asked by the authorities to revamp its Happy Set campaign after its popular Pokemon promotion resulted in a lot of food waste.
McDonald's Japan started the campaign 2 weeks ago, giving away Pokemon trading cards to purchasers of its Happy Set meals. But it was found that some customers bought the combos in bulk only to get the cards and resell them while discarding the food. In response, Japan's Consumer Affairs Agency has requested the hamburger chain to improve its sales strategy and take steps to prevent food loss. The company has suspended a campaign of another manga series due to start next Friday and plan to introduce stricter sales quotas for the Happy Sets.
Let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 234 points. Top active stocks of the day, Tencent was up $7. Alibaba was up $2.30. Xiaomi was up $1.20, and Meituan was up $1.30. Onto the weather now. Mainly fine, the minimum temperature will be about 27 degrees. Very hot during the day tomorrow with a maximum temperature of around 33 degrees in the urban areas, and a couple of degrees higher in the new territories. Becoming cloudy with a few showers and squally thunderstorms tomorrow night, and there will be swells. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thank you for watching and good night.